Hello everybody, welcome to iExamB's Legal Bee. This is Amrita, your law faculty here at iExamB. Welcome to the series that I have exclusively started for SEBI Grade A Legal Officer exam preparation. The phase 1 examination is going to be held on 5th of August and I'm sure आप लोगों की exam की preparation बहुत अच्छे से चल रही होगी and I'm trying to help you out with bringing the core topics from different subjects of phase 1. अगर आपने इस वीडियो सीरीज के बाकी की वीडियोस मिस कर दिए हैं, I would suggest that you go to the channel playlist and check out remaining videos also. All the important core topics have been covered. In this video also today I'm going to take up a topic which is very important from constitutional law, that is fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. Both the topics and specifically focusing on the correlation between them with some touch on the case laws we are going to discuss in this particular video today. So don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any queries, if you require videos on any of the topics for phase 1, any guidance, you can anytime reach out to us in the comment section of this video also. You can also write to us on hello@iexamb.com, call on 920552408 and also visit the website www.iexamb.com for more details of the course. So phase 1 made easy. This is the series that in which you are going to learn different concepts with me, as I already told you. And ये series SEBI Grade A Legal Officer Examination के लिए relevant है, and this will definitely help you prepare 50% faster with us. See, one thing which before I start with the discussion, I would like to tell you is that whenever you are taking up the syllabus and you are preparing from exam point of view, try to focus on the core topics and do them the best first. Divide your time like that. अगर आप सारा syllabus डिटेल में पढ़ना चाहते हो तो उसके लिए काफ़ी टाइम लग जाता है, एंड कई बार क्या होता है, it gets more confusing to us. So take out the topics which are the most important, focus on their preparation in depth. This is the best way which you can prepare for phase 1 examination for SEBI. अगर आपने ये क्वालिफाई कर दिया देन आप आगे अच्छा स्कोर कर सकते हो एंड डेफिनेटली आप SEBI में लीगल ऑफिसर बन सकते हो. बट यू हैव टू टेक अप द राइट स्ट्रैटेजी एट द राइट टाइम. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दैट. So this is how we are taking up some important subjects. In this video, first we'll talk about fundamental rights. What are fundamental rights? Very important of constitutional law, part 3. Fundamental rights are coming from the human rights concept. ह्यूमन राइट्स का जो कंसेप्ट है, अगर आपने उसके बारे में भी थोड़ा सा पढ़ा तो आपको आइडिया लग जाएगा. ह्यूमन राइट्स, दैट इज द UDHR, यूनिवर्सल डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स. इट इज गिविंग अस different generations of rights. First generation, second generation, third generation. So from that we are getting civil and political rights as the first generation, and that is covered under fundamental rights. These are the basic inherent rights which are inalienable in nature. Means एक इंडिविजुअल के एग्जिस्टेंस के लिए ये राइट्स बहुत ही बेसिक होते हैं. And Magna Carta has actually, this concept has come from old British law, we can say. Means Magna Carta एक चार्टर था जो काफ़ी important था, which has contributed a lot in डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द कंसेप्ट ऑफ राइट्स. सो अगर हम इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की बात करें तो इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में मैग्ना कार्टा है फंडामेंटल राइट्स. दिस इज वन नेम विच इज गिवन टू फंडामेंटल राइट्स टॉपिक, and they are justiciable. What does this mean? Justiciable means that you can go in the court of law, you can avail remedy for it, you can directly file writ petitions even in Supreme Court, in High Court, in Supreme Court, and get a very fast remedy if your fundamental right is violated. So that much importance is attached to the fundamental rights. And they are going to seek to establish political democracy in India, because these are the civil and political rights which are protecting the Indian democracy, the political democracy. That's why the objective of protecting these rights is inherent part of our democracy, and it is one of the most important objective of our constitution. It's mentioned in preamble also. So all these things give a lot of importance to this topic, and also in examination we can expect questions from this area. Now the question comes that what are directive principles of state policy, which is covered under part 4 of the constitution. So first we need to understand what are directive principles. These are principles. These are directions which are given to the government. Instruments of instruction means the government has to work in this framework. These are not rights of individuals that can be claimed, But then again, you will find out one thing, that human rights, one type of human right means one category of human right, as I told you, is covered under DPSPs, then how is that covered? It is covered inherently, means there are principles, guiding principles that are given to the government, and those guiding principles are actually protecting the social, economic and cultural rights of the people. So that's why it is inherently constituted in part 4 of the Constitution. Between 36 to 51, you will find different rights of the people that are protected, and directions have been given for that purpose to the state. That's why they are known as instruments of instruction, and they seek to establish social and economic democracy. As I told you, the type of rights, that kind of democratic element you will find in it. So these seek to establish social and economic democracy, and these are directions that are given to the government. Now this is clear to us what is part 3, what is part 4. Now we have to discuss about the correlation between both of them. Which is superior, which is inferior? Are they both working hand in hand? First, I will give you the answer that yes, both are going to work in harmony. There has been a lot of legislative history for this purpose. The Constitution has been interpreted in different case laws, and finally we have got this conclusion that these two parts of the Constitution should be interpreted harmoniously. And still, in spite of making all the efforts of interpreting them harmoniously, if you find out that still the conflict is prevailing, then fundamental rights will have a higher weightage and they will prevail. So this is what is the existing situation, and this we have got in the case of Minerva Mills Limited and others versus Union of India and others, 1980. So they are working complementary and supplementary to each other, that we need to remember. Now we will go backward to the history of that. We first need to know what is the existing prevailing situation, and then we can go backward and understand the situation. Actually, government has always tried to become more powerful, and that they can do by making directive principles of state policy more powerful. How that can happen? Because these are the directions that are given to the government, to the state. So if the state is getting power for working through these principles that is guaranteed in the Constitution, then definitely that will be a threat to democracy. So such instances have been taken place, and that is what you will find in these cases. You will first see I.C. Golaknath and others versus State of Punjab and another's 1967 case. In that case, what Supreme Court has held, fundamental rights cannot be amended. If you want to implement directives, you cannot amend fundamental rights for that. So fundamental rights were given supremacy. So then what did the Parliament do? Parliament did not get that what they wanted in the judgments, so they amended the Constitution. That power is there with the Parliament. They amended the Constitution, which is the 25th Amendment Act 1971, Article 31C. You can check it out for that purpose. So for that amendment which was carried out, that amendment was then again challenged in the court of law in the case of Keshavanand Bharati versus State of Kerala 1973, the famous judgment in constitutional law. In that judgment, then it was held that fundamental rights can be amended to implement directive principles of state policy. But again, judiciary has come up with a balance in that situation by coming up with the doctrine of basic structure. You can amend the fundamental rights, but you cannot touch the basic structure of the Constitution. This was the ratio. Then again, 42nd Amendment Act 1976, which we all know has made many changes in the Constitution. It made a change in Article 31C, and that was again challenged because government is trying to usurp power towards itself. Are you understanding the basic thing why these incidences have taken place? You can go into the details of these cases and understand the exact scenario, Article 31C and everything. But for our purpose of understanding the correlation between both the parts, this much is sufficient. So then this Article 31C was struck down, and it was struck down in which case? In Minerva Mills case. That's why Minerva Mills case judgment is very important, and it is prevailing till today. Part 3 and Part 4 are complementary and supplementary to each other, and still even after making so many efforts of maintaining balance, if there is a conflict that is prevailing, then what will prevail is going to be the fundamental rights. So this was all that we need to keep in mind basic when we study fundamental rights, DPSPs. What is the basic nature of these rights, from where these have come, like these have come from human rights, and what is the exact correlation between both. If you have any queries, you can directly reach out to us in the comment section of this video. Prepare 50% faster with iExamB. Thank you everybody. Have a good day.